So despite being the smallest state in Nigeria, Lagos has the highest population with about 20 million persons. Already, many persons are looking forward to who will win the governorship position in the state. The current state governor, Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu, and his deputy are seeking re-election for a second term, with more than 10 candidates competing for that same position. With a recent visit from President Buhari, who commissioned 3 key projects in the state, the duo say they are confident of winning the election because of their track record.
Heading to 4 years in his administration, Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu in the education sector is not resting on his oars.
Education is the most powerful weapon for which you can use to change the world. This is our belief. And for all of us in Lagos State, we continue to have substantial investment in the educational sector.
The Special Committee on the Rehabilitation of Public Schools in Lagos State has rehabilitated 197 schools, while 1,047 new classrooms have been injected into the school system. About 1,592 beds provided in the school hostels, 181,365 units dual composite students' furniture provided in the schools, including the principal and teachers' furniture. Also, security improvements were carried out in some poorer schools. Iconic projects embarked upon include Elemoro Community Junior High School, Ibejuleki, Vetland Junior Grammar School, Agege, and Ogombo Community Junior High School, Aja. Teachers' welfare is also in top gear in Lagos State. The team from the Special Committee on the Rehabilitation of Public Schools in Lagos State, SCRIPS, is on a trip for another round of project inspection.
There's supposed to be 2 per 6. Okay. Hello. Good morning, madam. How are you? Good morning, students. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your class now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. So how are you finding the environment now?
Yeah, very conducive.
Very conducive. Okay. Thank you very much. So learning is better now.
It's better.
One of the essence of that building is you see the furniture that we've done. So with respect to classrooms too, we've added over 1,000 classrooms into the classroom stock of Lagos State.
Some of the projects commissioned there. Joining us to discuss more on this is the Chief Press Secretary to the Lagos State Governor, Gboyega Akosile. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Greetings. You're welcome.
Good morning, double chief. I'm going to give him another chief title. And I was telling him before the show that he didn't invite me because he knows because he knows that I eat a lot.
Really?
And maybe he didn't want to give me plenty
there
of
was a lot of food to go, especially the bush meat.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Lagos State now. We just saw some of the projects that the state has embarked on. And, you know, talking about education was one of the projects we saw there. Perhaps you could speak to some of these projects for the enlightenment of our viewers this morning.
Oh, thank you very much. So what we saw, what you showed just now as an intro, is just very infinitesimal, if I may use without sounding arrogant. It's just like a drop in the ocean from what Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu and Dr. Obafemi Hamzat administration has been able to accomplish in the last 3.5 years of this administration. They've done so much. They've done a lot. I'm saying it with every sense of purpose, with every sense of authority, with every sense of diligence. Not because I'm a spokesperson for the governor and not because I work for him, or it's because, first and foremost, like I always tell my principal, I tell him that I like to look at things first as a journalist, as a reporter, and secondly, as a citizen of Lagos. So those are the 2 major reasons. Now, you need to quickly, because Nigerians were always very quick to forget, and I say this with every sense of respect to Lagosians, we need to quickly remember how Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu and Dr. Hamzat came in 2019. Now, prior to 2019, takeover, Lagos was, as it was at the time, traffic everywhere. Apapa was a no-go area. Apapa was almost ostracized. Apapa was like another state, another city entirely. Nobody could go to Apapa. In fact, it was a campaign matter at the time. And when they were, coming in, the then candidates, Bbajide Sanwo Olu, said, we will tackle traffic issues when we got, elected. And today, people have forgotten how we were living just 3 years ago. So that's why I always say that people are, quick to forget where we're coming from. Now people move to Apapa with ease. They've forgotten that Apapa used to be a pain. Apapa used to be a hell for people who had one business or another.
So what was that magic? What was that magic wand that turned around?
Very simple. You have administrators. You have seasoned professionals, not just politicians. They are politicians, but they are administrators first and foremost before they came into politics. They have the ability to think, they have the ability to move, and they have the capacity to implement. So they went to the drawing board. They thought, they implemented, and now we're enjoying it. So that is that. Lagos was filled with fields. When we were coming in, there was filth everywhere, heaps of refuse everywhere. When we were coming in 2019, do you see that? You drive around Lagos. Do you see that? In all honesty,
in some areas, you can still find pockets.
In pockets.
Okay.
So definitely, it's a feedback in some areas, but you don't see heaps everywhere in Lagos anymore. So we've tackled that. And that's, you look at small things like that, they are a test of governance. They are a test of leadership, okay? I'm still coming to big infrastructure. I'm coming from the smaller thing that people see on the street and we take for granted.
To the people.
Exactly, my sister. And people just take for granted. You are walking around and you are seeing, dirt on the road, heaps of refuse on the road. If it's not a government that cares about the healthful living of the people, you will continue to see all of that on the road. Now, talk about the traffic. When they were coming in, they came up. It was months of deep thinking, strategic planning. They came up with themes agenda. It's not just mouthing it. They're not just talking about it. The themes agenda stands for transportation, management, health and education, health, education, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment, and of course, security and good governance. Now, you need to take all these one by one. In transportation, we have done massively well. In transportation, the governor and his deputy, with the cabinet, of course, it's a democratic government, they came up with a lot of programs. Now, they've injected a lot into the system, the road transportation. So they're doing multimodal, right? They've injected a lot. And don't also forget that when they were coming in, nobody envisaged that there would be crisis.
COVID-19.
5 months into the administration, COVID-19 started ravaging the world.
Yes.
And shut everybody down economically. Well, because we have a seasoned administrator at the helms of affairs, backed by another seasoned professional, Dr. Hamzat, they sat down and they said that Lagosians will not suffer. Now, during COVID, everybody keeps thanking God that it's Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu that's the governor at this time. If not, if not for someone with that kind of capacity, I don't know what Nigeria would have experienced. Bbajide Sanwo Olu saved not just Lagos, he saved the entire country, Nigeria, from being ravaged by the effects of COVID-19. And this man is being praised all over the world. Yes, if not because he's a governor of Lagos State, he has so many invites for international engagements on how he was able to tackle COVID-19. Now, COVID-19, we talk about it, COVID-19. It came with so many things. It came with the attendant effects like economy, breakdown in the economy. It came with security. It came with hunger, poverty, and, of course, the social
the
part
social
of it.
Problems.
Social problems.
Yeah.
Did we have any of those at that time? No, it's not by magic. It's by a government that is thinking. They said, and they were not sleeping at the time. I know this because I was always...
You were involved?
Yes. I mean, I don't want to give undue credit because, it's the principal. They were the ones that were doing the planning. We were there to give our support. So I know all this because I saw what they were going through at the time. And everybody, rolled their sleeves thinking. The cabinet, the commissioner for health, commissioner for women affairs, commissioner for budget and planning, commissioner for information, everybody was thinking. Everybody was thinking, and they were donating their ideas on how to save Lagos, no, and not just Lagos, how to save the entire country. Right? Now, coming out of COVID, in spite of COVID, projects were going on. Projects were going on. Now, it was during COVID that some of the projects that we're commissioning now were going on. And the governor used to say at that time that, look, we can't cripple the economy because of these COVID. The man just has a way of thinking out of the box. He will sit down with his team, the deputy governor and the rest, they'll argue it out and, they'll come out with the best of results for Lagosians. I mean, that's a government that is thinking. So they came up with the road transportation. They've injected a lot. Even after the unfortunate NSAS that, some vandals, some people burnt all of the buses, the BRT buses. How many Lagosians came back to give us, round of applause for injecting, for replacing all of those buses? People forget. But this is a government that cares about the people, right? It cares about the people. And they said, no, people should not suffer because some knuckleheads, went to vandalize our property.
Choice of words, please.
You understand?
Yes.
Because some hoodlums, that's a popular word.
Yes.
Because some hoodlums, vandalized, our property. Now, he brought back all of those buses without even fanfare, without ceremony, you just begin to see them on the roads. But they were returned. Now, for the first time, we started the waterways. Not for the first time. The waterway transportation has been there. But Mr. Bbajide Sanwo Olu said, look, we need to go and begin to travel on the water. So he called on the helmsman at Lag Ferry. What do you need? Oh, we'll need new boats. We'll need 60 capacity, 90 capacity, 90 passenger capacity boats and the rest. And he gave approvals. Let's even test strong with government because the idea is for private investors, just like we have on road transportation. The idea is for private investors to come on waterways and buy boats. Of course, they're going to be regulated by our regulators, LASWA. Now, the idea is for them to come, but let us test strong with government. Today, our government has moved hundreds of thousands of people on water in Lagos. So this is an opportunity for investors to come on the waterways and invest there. For people to cut their travel time. I mean, imagine you want to come from Ikorodu to VI. You don't have to go through Ikorodu Road and connect Third Mainland Bridge. You can park your car and just go on the go to the jetty at Ebute or where a closer one to you. Then come via the boat.
Yeah, but does it look like as much as government has constructed these jetties here and there, and the water transport is going on, does it look like it's not being marketed enough for people to know that there is a robust transport system on the water?
That they can take advantage.
Yeah, oh yes, it is. It is, my brother. You need to, because we are not living in riverine areas. Those who live in riverine areas are actually making good use of the waterway. And that's why, till today, we've moved a whole lot of number. I don't have the exact number, but the last time when the MD of Lag Ferry, did a presentation at an event, he talked about like over 500,000 people that, have been moved on Lagos water, right? So I believe that those who live around, the riverine, those axes, they know about the operations of Lag Ferry. Now, away from the water transportation, now the governor, one of the things and one of the major reasons that I fell in love with Mr. Sanwo Olu administration, I'm sure you'd be want to say obviously. Although I don't have a choice.
No, we'll get to here.
One of the reasons, and I'm saying this, like I said I like to look at things first and foremost as a reporter, a Lagosian, okay? One of the reasons is that he said when he was coming in, when we sat down, he said one of the things that he would do is to complete all abandoned projects. Because government is continuum. And that's exactly what he has done. So in other words, he's a talk and do person. Now, when he came on board, he ensured that every project that were going on, started by his immediate predecessor, that's Governor Akinwumi Ambode, he didn't stop the contractors. Not minding the politics of change of baton, right? He didn't stop the contractors. That won serious admiration on my part. I've not told him this, but in my mind, I always think, so what a man. Because I know who we are. I know what an average politician would do.
Yeah.
In that situation, he would have fired all those contractors and brought in his own people to complete the project. That's even if he's interested in completing the project. You understand? But he did not only complete the project, he allowed the people that were on the project to complete them. Now, he went back to the days of Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola. All the housing projects, he started completing them. All the road projects, he completed them. Now, because he would argue, those projects, are they for me? No, each time we're talking, it was, the projects are not for me. The projects are for the citizens of Lagos. Today, without sounding controversial, he has injected more in terms of housing than anybody.
Right.
As a governor.
All right, let's talking about housing. Of course, we see some of the housing units being built in parts of Lagos, but there's still a lot of challenge with housing issues in Lagos. And of course, we know that Lagos houses a lot of the population in Nigeria. But when you're looking for a house, of course there are houses, but the policy of the informal policy of some landlords who say, if you are not if you're not a certain tribe, you will not be given a house. If you are not if you don't have a husband, you won't be given a house. Or if you don't have a man, you won't be given a house, and things like that. Talk to us about what the government is doing to ease off some of these things.
Okay, so and that's again to tell you that you've elected a governor that is thinking. When he came on board, he appointed a special advisor on housing. That's Honorable Toke Benson. So there is an agency of government called LASWERA. That agency is handling all of those issues. And I know that they're resolving a whole lot. And they're on TV and radio and on social media talking about these issues
like this. Yes. Interesting.
Yes. So you can actually talk to them. So anybody who has issues should contact LASWERA in Lagos State. They will resolve them. But see, my interest should be about, the big deal that the governor has done for Lagosians, and why Lagosians should not even be thinking.
No, because the question is, if he has delivered on his campaign promises earlier on in his first administration, and he's looking for a second term, they are asking, what does he want to do differently if he has done all of this? Yes, because there are those who are looking at how does he want to reposition the state? What more does he want to do if we are saying he has done so much for negotiations?
Yeah, thank you very much. A man came on board and gives you Lagos Blue Line Rail. Now, and phase one of it, we just signed the second phase that would move from Okokomaiko to Maitutu to Okokomaiko. So what we have now is Maitutu Marina in Lagos. So definitely that is going to also be part of the second term agenda by the special grace of God. He is going to start the fourth mainland bridge. We are hoping that by the special grace of God, that will start the process. The physical process will start this year. There's been closure as to the preferred bidder. These are some of the promises he made. He said he would ensure that we make a closure before the expiration of this first term, and he has delivered on that. And people are very excited. The Ikorodu people, the Lekki Axis people, they are very excited about it. In fact, I hear that the Omoniles are now saying that they are not going to be selling their land. They are waiting for the fourth mainland bridge to start. Yes, of course, once that one starts, it opens up that access more.
Even to Shagamu, to Ijebu.
It's going to actually, bust on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Okay. That's where it's going to terminate. Now, so that's one of the reasons why Lagosians should entrust their lives further in
How about the aspect of security?
Security.
Because we know the influx into Lagos State and how things are. A lot of complaints with regards to persons saying they were attacked here and there and all of it. How is he also looking to address that?
So before I go into security, so we talked about, the blue line. Don't forget we still have the red line.
Right.
Red line, I don't know, you're not talking about it, for goodness sake. You are a journalist.
Make Lagosians.
Now, each time I'm going to Abuja or I have reasons to, I can go meet my principal at the airport or something, and I pass through that iconic train station in Ikeja, it's always accelerating. You understand? It's breathtaking when you look at it from the other side. I can visualize when it begins operation. It was started in the life of this administration, and it will end in the life of this administration. As in, it will be completed in the life of this administration by the grace of God. It's almost, 90% gone. You understand? So, and we have it from what's the name of the city? We have several from Ijusha gas station, Ikeja station, Mushin station. So we have them like that. Beautiful. You understand? And these are going to open up a lot of commerce.
What's the difference between the blue and the red line?
Okay, the blue line.
Yes.
I'm not a technical person, but I'll just give it to
just
you.
an overview. So
why one is blue?
Why one is blue? The other is red.
Okay, so the blue line is going to be powered by electricity.
Okay.
It's like all this monorail that you have. Abroad, where
it's in Europe,
all this
Europe,
exactly. So it's on the Lagos, on the Badagry coming to Marina axis. That's the blue line.
Okay.
So you have different stations. I think about 5 stations. Okay. Then we have National Theatre up onto Marina, and that, by the way, that Marina station is from records. I hear is about the biggest in Africa.
Okay.
Yes, it's about the biggest in Africa, and it can process about 400 passengers, per minute, thereabout. So it's a lot. It's humongous. It's huge. So the blue line, so the red line is sitting on the existing rail tracks.
Okay.
Of the NRC. So what we have done is to build additional infrastructure. And of course, we're putting on the coaches on there. So by the way, the coaches are here. The appellation Bbajide Milwaukee, they give Mr. Governor. So those are some of the deals he went to close in the United States of America, in Milwaukee, in United States. So he's ready. So we're just waiting for the contractors to complete all of the infrastructure on the red line. So the red line will be from Oyigbo, Mushin, Ikeja, this axis. Okay. So moving people. So at the end of the day, by the time all of these operations start, I doubt if you and I would have any need to start, putting our cars on the road, and traffic congestion will reduce by some significant percentage in Lagos State. People come on air, to talk politics, or some analysts, they come around and, they've read some things in textbooks and they will quote figures, and they don't understand that if you do not have a holistic approach to governance and administration of a mega city like Lagos, you will only achieve same result. And that result is no result at the end of the day. So talking about security, I say it with my full chest. Let me use the Gen Z language with my full chest, that Lagos remains the most secure state in Nigeria. You can fact check. Looking at the numbers that we have in Lagos, and when last did you hear bank robberies in Lagos? No, just imagine. It used to be the order of the day back then. When last did did you run around, neighbors calling you about armed robbery incidents? So when you hear of snatching of bags once in a while, snatching of bags, or
attacks in traffic
once in a while, bad as it is, it's not something that now begin to say, oh, there's insecurity. Lagos is secure. Under Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu, Lagos is fully secure, and don't have any fear that because of the influx of the people into Lagos. Look, we run a federal system of government. We can't close our borders to anybody coming to Lagos. We are not a sovereign, we are not a country. We can't go and start at Julius Berger entry, point and say, oh, you people coming from the north, oh yeah, come down. Or people coming from the east. No, we can't. We can't. We'll be running foul of the law. So the best we can do is what the governor has been doing, ensuring that it puts in place all the security measures, and it gets security reports every hour of the day. It has more information than any one of us, than anybody. By the time you want to tell him something is happening, he tells you, oh, I'm aware. And, they are doing something about it, or they've done this about it. He's on top of the situations in Lagos State. And that's why we can sleep with our eyes closed.
There was this I wanted to ask you before talking about security. When we were talking about rail line, excuse me, recall that the Lekki Deep Sea Port has been commissioned.
Yeah.
And in fact, just a day to the commissioning, he had berthed the first cargo ship there. Now, there are concerns that the Lekki Deep Sea has been constructed. They were expecting that the rail should also follow in such a way that there won't be the issue of congestion, because when all the ships start coming, the containers start coming, they were going to see another Apapa in that axis. Yeah. Because the refinery is around that area, there's a new airport coming up on that area, the deep sea port, so that the place opens up, and then there is a rail that will take all of those things away.
Ease the traffic.
To ease the traffic. What's the plan? Talk to Lagosians about that.
So, there is a huge plan, and we should give thanks to the presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. All these plans started from way back, when nobody could even go to that axis. Today, as we're coming from the commissioning yesterday, we see we are not talking about all of that, so we'll still talk about it by force, by fire. I will talk about it. As we are coming, I was coming from the commissioning of the Eleko Junction to Ekpe, a rigid pavement road that has just been constructed by my governor, Governor Bbajide Sanwo Olu, after 40 years. So we were talking and we're saying to ourselves that this place used to be a no-go area. Nobody wanted to come to this axis. But Asiwaju, of course, my boss was in the cabinet at the time, with Dr. Obafemi Amza. They were in the cabinet. They saw tomorrow. They saw tomorrow. So they envisioned what is happening now. They had put in place all of these plans. So they've taken care of your fears, right? So apart from Red Line, we have other lines in Lagos. We have the Purple Line, we have Green Line. So one of two of those lines will pass through
that axis.
So there's all, look, we should always vote for people who have the ability to think and envision tomorrow, visualize tomorrow. And that's the result that we're having in Lagos. If not for the, for fund issues, I'm sure that by now, all of those achievements would have been recorded. Okay? But we're moving. You understand? We are moving slowly and steadily. We're moving. So, by the way, yesterday we commissioned we commissioned.
You have to face me.
No, of course. Point of information.
We commissioned, and one of the best roads, in fact, the best road in Nigeria. It's a concrete pavement road. You understand? 6 lane. Eleko, 6 lane. Concrete pavement road, and we have started the second phase. From Eleko to Abraham Adesoya. Look, we're not joking. We're not playing. Okay? Governor Sanwo Olu, Dr. Obafemi Amzat administration, they're not playing. They're not here to play. It's a serious business.
Right.
They care about the people. And I saw a video yesterday at the commissioning. Ordinary citizens were, praying, almost, in tears. They were saying that, look, this place used to be impassable, used to be a no-go area. But in 2021, Governor Sanwo Olu with his team, they said, look, we have to take care of this road. Around November or thereabouts, they signed the contract, mobilized the contractors, and today we have commissioned the road. We were just moving yesterday with ease. And I was saying to myself, this is what development is all about. This is what governance is all about, okay? Open up roads for the people, build hospitals for the people. As we got to the government house yesterday, the Commissioner of Health came around, and we started talking. I started asking him questions about some of the plans that they have. And he told me, I didn't even know that they've started building all those hospitals because they've not made it public. You know, it's a ministerial thing. They're doing it at the ministry level. You know, I get to know maybe, you know, when the governor says, oh, let's go and inspect some projects, you know. So they're building six new hospitals around. The one that we can see is the Massey Street.
Yeah.
The Massey Street Hospital. Now, it's going to be the biggest in Africa, children hospital. I also know that because we've inspected the one at K2 Ejiri along Lagos East and along Epe axis. So it's a government, apart from the ones that we have commissioned, the MCC that we've commissioned in Lekki Aja axis, in Badagry, at Alimosho. So in the area of health, you don't even want to compare Governor Sanwo Olu with anybody.
Right.
No, you don't. Well, some of us, you know, joke behind him. We'll say perhaps because his wife is a medical doctor. But I think it goes beyond that.
All right. Let's talk about the human resources in Lagos. There's a talk about making Lagos a smart city. And when we look to the young Lagosians who are digitally savvy, in fact, somewhere in Yaba, someone had referred to Yaba as the Silicon Valley of Lagos at the time. All of those youths who are ready with their heads burning with a lot of passion for digital technology and all of that. And also with Lagos, also the 5G technology has launched in Lagos. How is Lagos working towards, you know, achieving that smart city status that it wants to achieve?
So we're doing a lot. The Sanwo Olu administration is very high and hard on technology. Perhaps because of the background of the two, the governor and the deputy governor. So they are very much into IT and technology. In fact, Governor Sanwo Olu will always talk about technology as if he's an IT person himself. Okay? So, and of course, you know, Dr. Hamzat. So they are very high on technology. Now, Lagos is investing heavily. We're building a digital technology hub in Yaba. Now, I think it's one of the reasons why you have to ensure continuity for this current administration so that they can complete this idea. Now, Lagos has taken over South Africa as you know, the biggest hub in Africa because we have a lot, not just Nigeria. You know, we're talking about Lagos here. Lagos is the hub, right? Because we have a lot of young, creative minds in this state called Lagos. And of course, Yaba, like you said, remains the hub. So that's why Governor Sanwo Olu is building, you know, that hub in Yaba. I know that, you know, talks have reached advanced stage. Very soon they're going to move to site, and in another couple of years, maybe 1 or 2, we will, you know, deliver it to the good people of Lagos, especially the youngies. You know, not those of us who are digital migrants.
Those who are born in it.
Those who are born in it. So they will enjoy what it is. See, anything that the governor is doing is to make Lagos a smart city. Look at our transportation ecosystem. We're using what we call carry card. Do you know that the carry card was developed by young Lagosians? Young boys developed the carry card that we're using. And the governor said that's what we should use across all our transport sector, rail, bus, and the water, right? So that's one of the ways, one of the smartest ways of encouraging technological penetration. Now, LASRA and LASHMA, that's our health insurance scheme. LASRA is the registration. So they're trying, you know, they have their cards. But you see, they're working on integrating, you know, they're doing like a backward integration for all the cards so that you can have seamless usage of just one card, LASRA. So your LASHMA will be there, your tax, every information will be there.
Residents.
So Lagos is thinking, my brother.
So what message do you think this is sending to other opposition party candidates who are also looking at that seat quickly, because we need to wrap things up?
Okay, so I don't like, and I warned you before we started, that I don't want to talk politics.
I don't listen, unfortunately.
She doesn't listen.
I think she doesn't.
But it's still part of Lagos. So
I actually told her, remember I told her I don't want to talk politics. But, and I said, you know, the kind of thing that I would say, I don't want to say them. You know, I don't see opposition, unfortunately. I just see some comedians. I just see some jesters.
Okay, I guess we should leave it here now.
I just see some boys who just want to, you know, when you just want people to notice you. I mean, who are they? You know, somebody asked me in a WhatsApp group that the governor didn't go for debate. I said, which debate? To debate with who? I'm quoting myself. I said, to debate with you. I said, well, apart from the fact that the state government decided against that because, you know, some guy who jumped from APC to PDP feels that the best way to get into media reckoning is by unleashing terror on the citizens of Lagos State. That's not the kind of character we want to sit down with. That's not the kind of, you know, person that you want to debate with. You know, Governor Sanwo Olu's image has gotten to a stage that international bodies are struggling to have him, you know, for talks. You know, want to, you know, debate yourself and, you know, be on the same podium with people who don't care about the lives of Lagosians. I saw a video where people carried gun in broad daylight. And I said, no, we can't. This is not the kind of politics that we want to play.
All right.
All right.
Well, we'll have
so there's no opposition. And I know there's another young man who speaks, you know, very good English. You know, he has a gift of oratory. But that one, maybe he can start from local government, giving supervisory.
Gboyega, we need to leave it now. We need to leave it now.
So that's why I told you I didn't want to talk politics. Should have listened.
All right, but we must thank you, Gboyega Akosile, Chief Press Secretary to the Lagos State Governor, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.